Hello everyone, welcome to EduTap, and guys, welcome to your another important session of PIB, where we are discussing the most important current affairs that are relevant for examination of RBI and NABARD. Talking about today's session, guys, I will be discussing with you the most important current affairs. The date is from 29th to 30th of August 2023 here. So guys, before I proceed further on with this session, I just need a small confirmation on your end that whether my voice is clear to you, whether you guys can see me properly. Just give me a confirmation on that side. So till the time, guys, you guys are giving me the confirmation, okay? I just wanted to give you a brief introduction about this comprehensive guidebook that we have made for you. These are your guiding pillars where you will be getting, guys, the syllabus, the sources to cover that syllabus, and the most important thing, you will be getting the previous year question papers, which will be helping you in understanding that how these examinations are going on. And all these things are absolutely free. Just click on the link that is given in the description below and you can download these guidebooks with yourself. Now, let's talk about the topics for the day. The topics that we'll be discussing is, first of all, with respect to the phase 1 topics, we'll be discussing about National Sports Day. Then we will be discussing about the another important thing, that is for the first time, the BS6 Stage 2 electric flex fuel vehicle has been launched. So we'll be discussing about that. Then again, a first in news, that is first woman in charge of the Indian mission in Islamabad. We'll be discussing about her. So she can be dated in terms of appointments as well as with respect to first in news. And then India's first set of HCR catalysts to limit the nitrogen oxide emissions. We'll be discussing about this specific thing also. Then, with respect to your phase 1 and phase 2 related topics that we will be discussing today, these are, first of all, we'll be discussing about the Smart Cities Mission Award, as well as we'll be discussing about the Smart Cities Mission. Then, we will be discussing about the National Technical Textile Mission, and at the end, we will be discussing about the B20 presidency, which has now been handed over to Brazil by India. Okay, so let's start with the topics here. So, are you guys ready, guys? Tell me how the Josh here. So Josh is high. Is your Josh high? So let's proceed with the topic of the day. The first topic with respect to phase 1, the first topic is National Sports Day. So National Sports Day every year is celebrated on 29th of August, and this is celebrated basically to commemorate the birth anniversary of Major Dhyan Chand, who is the prominent hockey legend of India. Okay, so this year the theme for the National Sports Day was, that is, sports are an enabler to an inclusive and fit society. Now, when I talk about sports, in my previous session, I again started with sports. We will discuss 3 prominent things. First of all, we're discussing about World Athletic Championship. So, guys, if you have watched the previous session, tell me, Neeraj Chopra has won the gold medal in this year's World Athletic Championship in javelin throw. But who was the first Indian athlete who has won the medal in the World Athletic Championship? Tell me quickly in the chat box. So Mol is here, Nilesh is here, Mohit is here, Yatri is here. Let's quickly revise the thing here, because this is the most important thing in current affairs. Tell me quickly in the chat box, guys. And if you are watching the video later on stage, then also pause here. First of all, look at the answer. So what's the answer here? Answer here is, that is Anju Bobby George. So we have discussed in the previous video, that is, Anju Bobby George was the first Indian who has won the medal in the World Athletic Championship, and she has won the bronze medal there. Okay. Then the second news was with respect to HS Pranoy, where we have discussed that Kidambi Shrikant is the only player who has appeared in the finals of the World Badminton Federation Championship. Then the third news, if I talk about, is again a very important news, where we have discussed a history has been created by the Indian blind women cricket team by winning the gold medal, okay, in the blind games that have taken place in United Kingdom, that's in Birmingham. Can you guys tell me now which team India has defeated? So this is the same question I have asked you in my previous session, also the first question of the previous session, whom India has defeated in the final. So India has defeated Australia. Okay, so India has defeated Australia in the final. So that's a very important thing you must remember from the perspective of the examination. Now, if I proceed further on with respect to this news of National Sports Day, So guys, on this occasion, a National Sports Federation portal as well as the Fit India quiz has been launched here. Along with that, the very important thing you must remember is it was in 2012 when the first National Sports Day was celebrated, and now if I talk about Major Dhyan Chand, he's a very prominent hockey player. Why? Because he was the person who has helped India in winning 3 consecutive Olympic hockey golds. That was in 1928, 1932, and 1936. So this is the thing you should remember with respect to National Sports Day. Now let's look at the question here. The question is, recently the National Sports Day was celebrated on 29th of August with a theme that is sports are an enabler to an inclusive and fit society. You have to tell me that this day is being celebrated to commemorate the birth anniversary of which of the following sports dignitaries. So we know the answer here will be option number D. Major Dhyan Chand is the answer here. Let's proceed towards the second news. The second is again a type of first news. The first prototype of BS stage, that is the Bharat Standard Stage 6 electric flex fuel vehicle has been launched. So this is the news that was seen in PIB. Now two prominent things are, what is actually this vehicle? This vehicle is Innova Krista. So this is the car you can see here. Innova Krista is the vehicle on which this fuel has been planted. And if I talk about the developer here is Toyota Kirloskar. We generally say Toyota Motors has basically developed this exclusively prototype of BS6 Stage 2 electric flex fuel vehicle. So this is the important thing to be remembered here. Now the other thing is with respect to ethanol blending. Okay, because here when we talk about ethanol fuel, ethanol blending target is important. So we have pre-planned the achievement of the ethanol 20 target, that is E20 blending, by the year 2025 instead of 2030 here. Okay, so this was about this news here. Again, a very important thing here. Now if I talk about this vehicle, it's basically a hybrid vehicle, guys. It's a hybrid vehicle, okay, where the plantation is electric plus ethanol fuels. Okay, so this is the thing which is basically used in this specific vehicle. Now, let's proceed to the question here. The question here is that Union Minister of Road Transport and Highways has launched this first prototype of electric flex fuel vehicle. Who has developed this automobile maker? Which automobile maker has developed this specific technology? So we know the answer here is that is option number C. It will be Toyota Kirloskar. Hyundai is not here. It's option number C will be the answer here. Okay, that's the thing here. Now let's talk about the third news. So two first things we have discussed. Again, third thing is also related to first timer, because for the first time an Indian woman, and the first woman who will be getting the name of the post is charge day appears at the Indian mission, that's in Pakistan and Islamabad. Now with this, Geetika Srivastava, who was earlier basically serving as the joint secretary for the Indo-Pacific region under the Ministry of External Affairs, now she will be handling as the first woman diplomat who will be holding the post of charge day affairs at the Indian High Commission in Islamabad. So this is the news here, and this is the lady, that is Geetika Srivastava, the name you have to remember now. So three things we have discussed. Take care. First of all, sports, then two first thing news. Now let's move to the question here. The question here is very, very easy. Who has been appointed as the charge day bearer of the Indian High Commission in Islamabad, making her the first woman diplomat to hold this post? And the answer is very easy here, guys. That's option number A. Geetika Srivastava is the answer here. Now let's talk about the next news here. The next news is with respect to the first time a set of indigenous SER catalyst has been designed to limit the emission of nitrogen oxide, which says environment friendly initiative has been discussed here. What actually is SCR? It is known as selective catalytic reactors. So indigenously BHEL has developed this SCRs that will be limiting the nitrogen dioxide emission, and where they are being developed, it has been developed basically for this thermal power plant. That's again very, very important for us to remember. That is Yadadri thermal power plant, that's in Telangana. So this thermal power plant is important for us. Now, okay, so let's move to the question here, guys. Now the question is, recently who has successfully or Dash has successfully produced India's first set of indigenous selective catalytic reactors to limit the nitrogen dioxide emission from thermal power plants. So answer is again here very easy. That's option number B. Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited is the answer here. Now, if I ask you a question, in which thermal power plant this has been developed, this can also be asked in the examination. The answer is Yadadri Thermal Power Plant. That's in Telangana. So that's again a question that could be asked in the examination. Okay. So this was with respect to the news, guys, that is relevant only for the phase 1 of the examination. Now let's proceed with the news which are related to phase 1 and phase 2. And the first is smartness is here. That is smart city mission. So now, guys, Indian Smart Cities Awards have basically been announced. The winner list has been announced. With this, what we have to cover, first of all, the awards. What are these awards? When these awards got started? Which edition of the awards have been presented? Then we will be talking about the categories in which the award is given. Then the persons who have, or the organizations who have won the award, that is the winners. And then we will be discussing about the Indian Smart Cities Mission. Now the first thing here is, if I talk about this award, first question is when actually it started. So guys, it started in the year 2018 when the first edition of the Indian Smart Cities Awards were given. After that, it was 2019 and 20, and now the fourth edition has been launched, that's in 2022. Now when we talk about the awards, so these awards were basically announced during the Smart City Smart Urbanization event in Surat, and they are given in 6 categories, that is Project Awards, Innovation Awards, National or Zonal Awards, State, UT, or the Partners Awards. Now when we talk about Partners Awards, these are basically being given in 10 categories. Okay, so this is the thing here. Now let's talk about the winners here. With respect to the National Smart City Award, that was given to Indore. So Indore is given as the smartest city, so it's being a very important thing. Indore followed by Surat and Agra. With respect to state, Indore is in Madhya Pradesh. You can say Madhya Pradesh has topped this thing, followed by Tamil Nadu, and at third place it's the joint winners, that is Rajasthan and Uttar Pradesh are the joint winners here. Now UT is Chandigarh, the beautiful city of India. So UT is Chandigarh. Then guys, partner awards are given in 3 categories. These are industry infra, that is industry based, that is infrastructure, and micro small, that is MSI, and that is the partner recognition. So infrastructure, L&T has been awarded. For MSI, L&T constructions have been given, that is the thing, and partner wise it is PwC India. So guys, I know these are somehow difficult to remember this name of these awards, but I will say only one thing, just go through these awards at least 2 to 3 times, then it will be little on easy for you to have an idea of this thing. That's what is required here. Innovative idea is Hubli, and Ovid Innovation Award is given to Surat here. Now with respect to project awards, as I've discussed, there are 10 categories, but I have handpicked some selected categories here. These are the names here. So built environment is Coimbatore, culture is Ahmedabad city, that is the award for cultural perspective. Economically, that is Jabalpur. For mobility, that is Chandigarh, and for sanitation perspective, it's Indore. Okay. Now, the important thing is what actually is this Smart Cities Mission all about, because recently the mission has been extended till June 2024, which we were expecting the question in the examination of RBI, and the question was there on the RBI on Smart Cities Mission, not actually on the extending date, but about the features of Smart Cities Mission. So this year you can expect the same question now for the NABARD examination also. Now what is the Smart City Mission? So the name is suggesting its smartness is here. We have to develop cities in such an infrastructure base that it should be looking smart, means it should be technology driven. Okay. Now, what is the thing here? Launched in 2015 under Ministries of Housing and Urban Affairs. Here, we want to make cities smart by first of all promoting the core infrastructure has to be built, quality of life of the citizens, clean and sustainable environment, and you can say application of smart solutions. You can see here the robot, that is the keyboard that was launched in the Bandicoot. The robot was launched in Kerala for manual scavenging. So that is the kind of smartness initiatives being taken. So that is the thing that is being done here. Okay, that is the smart solution. Now, आपने इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर बना लिया, अब आते हैं आगे. The objective is basically, guys, you have to set an example that can replicate both within and outside the smart city by creation of similar smart cities in various regions and part of the country. So this is the thing, it should be depicted all across the different parts. That is the thing here. Then focus is on sustainable and inclusive development. That's the thing that I've discussed now. It's a central sponsored scheme, which means now there is a funding that will be done by both center as well as state here. Fund allocation. So central government said that they would be giving 48,000 crore rupees in the 5 years with an average of 100 crore per city per year. So that's a point very important for us to remember. 48,000 total in 5 years, which is an amounting of 100 crore per city per year. Now, the next thing here, as I'm saying, it's centrally sponsored. So it says equal amount on matching basis is to be provided by the states and urban local bodies. Okay, that's the thing here. Then, along with that, because we are working on smart solution and we know that the things cost more. So what could be the other things? Now it said that additional resources can be used by urban local bodies also by launching the, let's say, municipal bonds are being launched, or you can say other state specific or the government borrowings can be taken as a source of additional funding here also. Other than that, the other thing is that the funds which are provided by the central government, they would be given in terms of tied grants. That is a very important thing to remember. They will be giving the fund to special purpose vehicles as a tied grants. That's a thing which is important for us to remember here. Now, if I talk about the other prominent things, so private players are being encouraged here so that public-private partnership should be promoted in promoting this initiative, and these are basically the strategic components. What are the things here? We will be doing, first of all, retrofitting of the cities, where cities will be improved there. Then renewal means that we will be making cities, you can say, like about Amrit Bharat stations. We are historically developing the cities or historically developing the stations based on the cultural thing. So that is the thing here. Cities renewal or redevelopment should be done. That's the thing here. Then extensions, which means greenfield projects should be done, should be developed there. Extension is there. Then it says a pan city initiative would be done, in which the smart solutions are applied, which are covering the large parts of the city. Which means we talk about smartness here, or if we are using some kind of initiatives which is helping the whole city, is the point here. Then implementation is by a special purpose vehicle, which would be set up by a city level, okay, under the Companies Act. So special purpose vehicle is set up under the Companies Act of 2013, which will be promoted by the states as well as the urban local bodies in the 50:50 equity ratio. Now, it says that when the cities are selected, after selection, each selected smart cities have to set up special purpose vehicles that are just discussed with you and start implementation of the smart city proposals. That's the thing here. And now, most important thing is how many cities are covered. So it would be covering initially 100 cities, and the duration is 5 years, which now has been extended till June 2024, as I have discussed with you in the beginning of the scheme. Okay, so this is about the Smart Cities Mission and the Indian Smart Cities Awards that have recently been given. So now I hope you have understood the scheme. Okay, you have understood the scheme now, guys. Molly, Devan, Yatvi, understood the scheme? Now let's test the question here. Okay, chaliye. Let's test the question here. The question is, recently the 4th edition of the Indian Smart Cities Contest awards have been given. You have to tell me which of the following statements are incorrect here. Indore topped the National Smart Cities Award. Madhya Pradesh topped in category of State Award. Chandigarh awarded under the Best Beauty. Then it says under the Project Awards, Indore topped both sanitation and water themes, and Puducherry was awarded in governance and mobility themes. So what would be the answer here? Answer will be option number E here. ठीक है जी, गवर्नेंस एंड मोबिलिटी में पुडुचेरी नहीं है. कौन था? इट वाज द सिटी ब्यूटीफुल, दैट इज चंडीगढ़. ओके, so this was about this question. Now let's talk about the second question on the smart cities mission. The question is, which of the following statements are incorrect with respect to the smart cities mission here? The mission is operated as a central sector scheme. Emphasis has been given on the participation of private sector through the public-private partnership. The strategic component of smart cities missions are city improvement, city renewal, and city extension. Okay, then it was saying implementation of smart cities mission is done by special purpose vehicle, and center has introduced a 100-day challenge where the top performing smart cities have been paired with the bottom 20 sister concerned states. अब doubt आ सकता है कि this is the point I have not read, but what about that? Now the important thing is इस पॉइंट की जगह हमें फोकस करना है यहाँ पे, यानी कि सेंट्रल सेक्टर नहीं, हमें पता है कौन सी, इट्स अ सेंट्रल स्पॉन्सर्ड स्कीम. That's one thing that we can rely here. Okay, so that is the thing here. Answer here will be option number A, which is the incorrect statement here. Now let's talk about the next important news. So now guys, the cabinet has approved a startup guidelines which are related to the National Technical Textile Mission. Along with that, two other things that Ministry of Textile has done is it has given note to 26 engineering institutes for introduction of technical textile laboratories. Then the quality QCOs in 31 geotextiles and protective textiles, they said would be effective from 7th of October. Now let's talk this thing one by one. First of all, let's talk about the guidelines that have been there. So the Ministry of Textile has approved the startup guidelines which are for the technical textiles under the initiative of grants for research and entrepreneurial, that is grants for research and entrepreneurship across aspiring innovators in technical textile is the great initiative that has been taken. Now under this initiative, I talk about what are the grants that will be provided here. So total grant amount is rupees 50 lakh will be provided to startups for a period of 18 months. Then it says sectoral focus. The sectors it will be focusing on is geotextiles, you can say innovation, smart textiles. It will be focusing on these kind of sectors here. Now, this is a two thing to be remembered here, guys. The person, incubator, who is receiving the money, it says, first of all, the commitment here. A minimum of 10% of the grant that has been given must be invested by the incubator in 2 equal installments. That is the thing here. The investment has to be done in 2 equal installments. Then, based on this funding commitment, he will be incentivized by the thing that is an additional 10% of the total grant will be given to the incubator to further incentivize them. So first of all, he has to commit his funding, and then if he is committing the funding, then he is also eligible for the incentive here also. Tenure I have discussed, this is basically been done for 18 months at this point of time, that has been told by the ministry, and the main target is basically to focus on biodegradable textiles, high performance fibers and smart textiles here. Now with that talk about textiles, guys, two schemes are very, very important. That is PM Mitra and PLI scheme for textile here. Both are basically focusing on the enrichment of textile sector in India. Now when I talk about PM Mitra scheme, can you guys tell me where is the first PM Mitra setup? First PM Mitra Park will be set up in which part of India? Can you guys tell me about that? First part. So first PM Mitra Textile Park would be set up in that's in Virudhunagar, that's in Tamil Nadu. That's the thing here with respect to the PM Mitra Park. Okay, ji. Now PM Mitra Park is providing two kind of incentives. One is competitive incentive. Okay. So when I talk about competitive incentive, basically 3 kinds of incentives are given here. That is, one is with a maximum up to 30 crore rupees. Okay, then it was 45 crores and then it is 3 crore rupees. So first of all, 15 crores for those persons between 100 to 300 crores if it is investing, that is 15 crore rupees. Okay, ji. Sorry, 100 to 300 is for your 10 crores. More than 300, it will be 15 crores per annum. And if it is 1 crore, if it is providing some kind of employment to 100 people. Okay, that's the thing here. Development, when I talk about for the Greenfield project, 500 crores will be given here. For Brownfield, 250 crores was given here. And then the third is for a venture capitalist. He will be provided a loan for 25 years. So that's the thing under PM Mitra scheme. Okay. PLI scheme for textiles, when I talk about, is other prominent thing that you need to remember here. Again, it's working on the same method, but here it is focusing on the rural and semi-urban areas. That's the thing with respect to the PLI scheme for textiles. So both are important, guys. Now let's talk about further with respect to this initiative. When I talk about the upgrade laboratory infrastructure, so now guys, with respect to the laboratory infrastructure, it says 26 engineering institutions would be upgrading their laboratory infrastructure for introducing the new technical textile course. Now here, a total for this, a sum of 151 crore rupees will be given, okay, from which 100 around 105 crores will be given to for public institutes and 46 for the remaining private institutes. Now here IIT Delhi, NIT Jalandhar, NIT Durgapur premium institutes will be covered. Here they have named the many institutes, so that's one thing here. The third thing that was announced was basically the technical textile education. Now says a second round of the guidelines for enhancing of academic institutes in technical textile education in India will be reopened. That is the government is saying, and it says the new courses will be included in the span of, that is the year till 2025-26. So that's the thing here. Now guys, let's talk about the National Technical Textile Mission here. National Technical Textile Mission is an initiative of Ministry of Textiles whose aim is basically to position India as a global leader in technical textiles. So now, what are the objectives here? You want to make yourself as a brand, okay, global leader. So what would be the thing here? Advanced research has to be done here, market penetration, strategy promotion, and indigenous development. So look at the thing. This is where we are focusing now. We are researching lot of things with respect to technical fibers. That's the thing with respect to technical education. We have just discussed now. Market penetration, where the domestic market for technical textiles would be expanded so that the export of that thing would be enhanced and employment would be created here. Strategy promotion has to be done, which will, here the mission will promote the usage of technical textiles. And now indigenous, all the things which we are focusing is basically in the pipeline of Make in India initiative, where we want the products that are made in India should be promoted further on. Now guys, when I talk about the major components of the schemes, advanced research, first is research institution. So it says the reports like the labs like CSIR, IIT, DRDO, they will be engaged in the research activities. Look at the thing. This is how they will be related here. Objective and components. Market penetration, you can see here, promotion and market development is the second component, where we want to increase the average growth through market development, market promotion, international technical textile exhibitions. This is the thing here. Promotion will be done here. Then the next is strategic promotion. Strategy promotion के लिए क्या कर रहे हो? Export councils बना रहे हो. Where export promotion councils for technical textiles will be established, who will be strategically helping India in promoting their technical textiles. Now, next is indigenous development. For indigenous development, what you are doing is you are promoting the skill and education among Indians. So yes, focus is on promoting the technical education and skill development, which is required to meet the industry's demand. So this is how all the objectives are basically being a replication of the components that's been discussed here. Now guys, let's talk about the question here, that is first of all with respect to the GRADE initiative under the National Technical Textile Mission that has recently been announced. It says that an additional 10% of the total grant will be given to the incubator, but what is the primary condition that he must fulfill to get an additional 10% grant? It says incubators must invest at least 20% of the total grant in 4 equal installments. They are not required to invest any amount. Then says the incubatee must invest a minimum of 10% of the grant in 2 equal installments. Then it says 50% in the beginning, or it says 10% at the end. The answer here will be option number C that we've just discussed. Incubators must invest 10% of the grant in the 2 equal installments. Then let's talk about the next thing here with respect to the National Technical Textile Mission. Which of the following is not listed as one of the component here? Research, innovation and development, promotion and market development, export promotion, education, training and skill development, and the last one is environment sustainability. So we know guys option number E will be incorrect here because nothing about environment sustainability was discussed here. So answer will be option number E here. Now guys, let's end the session with the again important news. Now we know this is for the first time India was hosting the G20 summit. Now it's coming to an end. In the month of September, we will be having our final meet of G20 where India's journey of this G20 will be ending now. Okay. Now the initial starting of that has just begun. Now the B20 theme has been handed over. So India has officially handed over the Business 20 presidency to the Brazil, who will be hosting the next G20 summit. When I talk about the B20 summit, guys, the important thing is now important for us is first of all, what is the theme of the B20 summit that is raised here? That is responsible, accelerated, innovative, and sustainable and equitable business here. Okay. Now the next thing is with respect to who is actually presiding the B20 presidency from India. That is Mr. N. Chandrasekaran. So Mr. N. Chandrasekaran would be has presided as the B20 president for India. Now, if I ask you a question, who was the Sherpa here? Who was the Sherpa for India for G20? Can you guys tell me? Sherpa for India for G20. Who was the? What can I tell you the name of that person? It was Mr. Amitabh Kant, who is the Sherpa. That is for India. Then, now B20, if I talk about guys, Business 20. So Business 20 basically is an official G20 dialogue which started in the year 2010. Okay, and the B20 Indian, if I talk about Indian summit here, so 54 recommendations have been submitted for under the B20 presidency of India here. Okay, now if I talk about the other prominent things with respect to G20, okay, that's your homework for the day. So you have to tell me in the comment box about the G20 and India presidency, where you will be discussing me about the G20. Okay, when it was started, you will be sharing with me in the comment box when G20 started. Then the next is the theme of India for the G20. Then we'll be discussing the countries which was invited by India as a member to participate in the G20. Where is the first meeting that have taken place here? Where was the 100th meeting that have taken place here? And then you have to also tell me about the Maharishi initiative, okay, that has basically been discussed under the G20 presidency. Minutes के लिए discuss हुआ था ना Maharishi initiative. तो कौन सी summit में हुआ है? That you have to tell me in the comment box. So guys, now let me ask you a question on this B20 summit. So it's a very easy question here. What actually is the theme for India's B20? So the theme we have just discussed is option number D, that is raised here. That is responsible, accessible, innovative, sustainable and equitable business is the theme here. So this was about the session for the day. I hope you have really enjoyed the session where we have started from the phase 1 specific news. We start from sports, that is National Sports Day. Then we have discussed about first electronic flex fuel vehicle. We have discussed here. We have discussed about Geetika Srivastava, first charged affairs woman that will be taking charge in Islamabad. Then we have discussed about the male who has developed the specialist SCRs basically. Okay, then we have discussed about 3 prominent news of ESI, 2 schemes. One was Smart Cities Mission, then we have discussed about National Technical Textile Mission, and then finally we have ended with G20. So now guys, when you want the PDF, so you will get the PDF in on our Telegram channel, the link for which is given in the description below. And if you have really enjoyed the session, do subscribe to our YouTube channel also, so that you can get the latest updates with respect to the examination. Now, you can ask your question, and I think Daniel is asking question. Please some help on NABARD Grade A. Daniel, can you specify your query with respect to NABARD Grade A? What actually you want to ask me? Anything, Daniel, if you want to ask me, you can ask me the thing here also. You can ask me the thing here. So guys, I will be here for the next 2 to 3 minutes. If you have any kind of query, you could ask me a query. How to cover flagship schemes? So I always say, see, Kingshuk, I say the flagship schemes first of all cover the schemes which are defined in the syllabus, like MGNREGA is there, National Rural Livelihood Mission is there, Swachh Bharat Mission is there. That if you are enrolled to our course of EduTap, I would suggest that then you can look at the schemes tab of past 5 months. From there, you can cover those specific schemes there. And then, if I talk about what flagship schemes you have to cover only those flagship schemes which I will say on priority that are seen in news in the past 5 months, because they will always be seen in. For example, if I talk about recently, the session has just concluded. So all the flagship schemes like MGNREGA, Smart Cities Mission, I will say your Pradhan Mantri Kisan Man Dhan Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, they will be seen in news. So they will be covered under the schemes tab part there. So that is what you can do. You can start here. And I always say when you're covering the flagship scheme, now first of all cover the core concept of the scheme like ministry, launch year, aim, objective, tenure, target, or the specific incentives under the scheme. Okay, so this is how you can start with the scheme here. Kingshuk. Okay, so I hope Kingshuk your query is resolved with respect to the coverage of flagship schemes. Any other thing, guys? Any other thing anybody wants to ask me, they can ask me. Okay, so I can see now there is no query left here. So guys, again wishing you all the best for the examination. Keep working hard, keep preparing hard. Bye-bye.